Clear for takeoff, 19013 right, Cirrus 123. 500 feet, flaps up, taps active.
Alright, I'm going to pause the scenario now. And you'll notice that call that Chase made right as he called flaps up at 500 feet, and the caps becomes an option. At 500 feet, we could use the caps if necessary. It's after this call that you would engage the autopilot. And thanks to our setups that we did on the ground, the autopilot is set to engage in heading mode and VS alt for a nice climb up to our 2,000-foot initial altitude. Now, if we should have a situation happen on climb out where we go partial panel, and in our simulator here we're going to show that in just a second, we've already got our Garmin's number 1 and 2 set up to help us out. We'll be able to get a track, which is close to a heading, and we'll be able to get a course line. Once we've done that, we're going to want to remember a couple of things about the autopilot. One is that with the PFD offline, heading mode is not available. So if you can, if it's an option, talk to ATC and tell them that you want direct to an initial approach fix. In our case, we've got a GPS to 13 right starting at low fall, which is the initial approach fix for that. This is an emergency situation, so don't hesitate to call if that on the air. You want priority handling, and you need to tell them that. So let's see, we're going to continue the simulation here. Chase will continue to climb for just a minute, and then I'll give him the PFD failure. All right, everything's going the way it normally would. Here's the PFD failure. That's gone offline. And the appropriate call would be something like, use your call sign to air traffic control. I've lost my primary flight display, and I'm declaring an emergency. I need direct to whatever fix it is, in our case, low fall, for the GPS approach runway 13 right that we're using today. They will give you that clearance probably pretty soon. So in our case here, Cirrus 123, climb maintain 4,000, and reaching 4,000, proceed direct to low fall.
Okay, Cirrus 123, climb at 4,000, upon reaching 4,000, direct low fall.
Now, since Chase has to fly on a heading, he is not using the autopilot yet. Once he gets up to 4,000 feet, he will be able to. And you can see on the bottom left screen the analog altimeter. Chase is climbing through about 2,500 feet now. It's important to stay current on your partial panel procedures for a situation like this. Turning the autopilot on now is not really an option since we can't use heading mode, and we're not allowed to go direct to any fixes just yet. During the climb, Chase is going to reach over and get ready for this approach. He's going to want to load in the GPS to 13 right, set up a low fall as the initial approach fix. This is a pretty tricky maneuver because he's dividing his attention between flying the airplane and setting up his Garmin's. Also remember, once you've loaded the approach, To switch back, it's going to go to flight plan group. You don't want flight plan group. There you go. You want nav page 1 like Chase has just demonstrated there. That way we'll be able to see the course guidance. Here comes 4,000 feet. Chase powers back and can engage the autopilot at this point. Assuming he gets a line to low fall. Here he goes. He's going to activate the approach, which gives him the line to low fall. Nav gives him GPS steering. And ALP by itself will just have the airplane hold altitude. And now the autopilot's taking it from there. We're going to pause our simulation at this point. That ends our discussion about departure procedures. You can see how having the appropriate setups can certainly take the stress out of situations. You can imagine having to set up your Garmins to the appropriate pages, looking around for those in a high-stress situation like this would certainly not be a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.